to the Film Prize Junior New Mexico Alumni Panel. In case you don't know who I am, my name is Tobias Kallenberg. I work with the Prize Foundation in Shreveport. Way back in 2016, I worked with my dad as well as technical education in Louisiana to design the first Film Prize Junior concepts, and well, here we are now. Very excited to be back here in New Mexico. Thank you to the alumni panelists for joining us. You guys are awesome. So we are going to now start off. Basically, just introduce yourself. We're going to go down the line like so. Introduce yourself and tell us what you're doing right now.
Hello, my name is Sophia Santos. I am a current student at UNM. I'm studying a film and digital media production degree and such, and I've been making films for class projects since.
Hi, my name is Zoe. I am currently taking a gap year, and I'm working as a stage manager for immersive theater in Santa Fe.
I'm Joaquin, and I'm a current film student at NMSU, and I just got accepted into the CMI program there, so I'm really excited.
All right, everyone. So now we're going to go back to you are all alumni Film Prize Juniors, so let's hear about the project that you submitted. Just for now, just let's do the title and give a quick overview. We'll get into more detail in a second.
Okay. So the first one that I created was called House Sitting. It was like a thriller-esque film, and I created it all within my own home.
My most recent submission to Film Prize was called Follower, and it was about a young woman trying to win over someone who was stalking her.
And my last submission was Holy Cross. It was about these three teenagers that discovered the Holy Cross Sanitarium in their local town.
All right, so now we're going to kind of move on to a bit more details about your film as well as the production itself. So let's talk about the development of your idea. Where did you find inspiration for your project, and maybe talk a bit about the process of writing the screenplay?
So when I created my concept for it, I wanted to do something that was based on a fear of mine, which is like thinking that you're alone and then you're not truly alone, and finding out through a very scary process. But I base it off of a lot of because I was a kid who was like on the internet a lot, and I still am, but there was a lot of like the horror shorts that people made, and I just found it very cool that like something like the internet was so accessible and people were making their own ideas, whether it be like absolutely absurd or just something fun that they wanted to do. So I based the concept off of that, and I wrote a script, which was a very interesting process because I had no prior experience to film. So writing a script for me was like, for the first time, looking into kind of what it was like to create a screenplay, and it was a very weird, but it was a very, very fun process.
All right, Zoe?
From what I can remember, our concept came from me and my co-everything, Ellie, just chatting about our own experiences, being young women and working in restaurants and all these places that tend to be male dominated in certain areas, and we just really wanted to write something based on experiences of feeling uncomfortable, and from what I remember, I think we also wanted to write something that was drastically different from our last concept, which was like a very lovey, like cute friends to more than friends situation. So we were like, no, we're gonna go dark this time.
It's funny you say that because I literally did the same kind of this. My first one was like a comedy, and then the second year came around, and since Film Prize gave me such a great like platform to like do a really nice film, I wanted it to be like a thriller, and so I wanted to go off of like the folklore of where I came from, and so like one of that being Holy Cross Sanitarium, and so that was like a really cool thing. And I wanted to also include like, you know, the history of like my town, and then just use that from like different elements of scary movies that I loved watching growing up, and just different stuff like that. Yeah.
All right, so now we all have screenplays, and that's great. But screenplays don't always get made into films, and and it's a very arduous process. So the next thing that I want to talk about is how about each of you kind of go through like what the production process was like and some of the challenges that you faced along the way. And actually something that I just now noticed, I was here last year, I've pretty much seen all your films. It's a scary trio right here of films. But they're all great, of course, I love them all. But anyway, so yeah, just going over the production, some of the challenges you faced.
So some of the biggest challenges that I faced was a limitation in what I had as an equipment. Like I had a flashlight, a dream, and my cell phone. And I also have a computer, and I used a free editing software. And it was very interesting trying to like work around it. Like I like recorded some lines with like, you know, my phone face down on like a black tablecloth and such that I could get like the audio and such. I had some help from my siblings, and it was just very weird, like amongst like the editing, which fun fact, sometimes things will crash if it updates.
Oh wait, we're actually going to get to post-production in a second. We'll focus on post-production in the next one.
All right, gotcha. So yeah, it was just trying to come up with the concept. It was kind of like it was like the first time I faced like a realization that sometimes things, like due to just whatever, whether it be equipment, would sometimes just not go my way. And I went with it because I was like, you know what, I want to get this like done. I want to make something that I think would be really cool. And it made it worth it in the end. But yeah, it was pretty difficult, like just trying to put it on paper and getting out what I wanted from the idea.
All right, Zoe?
I was really lucky to work with a team of 3, including myself, and I was directing, but they mostly handled like the writing, and that allowed me to, I think, show up for the production process more than I would if it was just a student film done by like me and one other person, which I have also done and is a very different experience. But honestly, it was a lot of fun. I think it's the most fun I've had on one of my student films, just because we were really able to relax a little bit and take care of each other. And I think there was just an emphasis on like having really good vibes, despite it being a horrifically dark topic.
Yeah,
It's really
despite it being
But
absolutely terrifying.
it was fun.
I was really thankful to have my family, but also my teachers and everyone here. They also were really able to help me in the whole process, you know, helping me with equipment, lighting, showing me different techniques on how to, you know, run a set, how to run the equipment, how to work with actors and whatnot. It was actually a really fun learning experience, and it was really awesome.
Zoe, I'm glad that you were relaxed during the production, because your film didn't make me feel very relaxed.
Thank you for saying that, Tobias.
But anyway, moving on. So you mentioned post-production, how that was a challenge. That's a big challenge for a lot of people. It's a massive barrier to, you know, basically getting just, your raw material and actually creating something watchable. So let's talk about post-production and maybe some of the challenges you faced during your post-production.
So the biggest challenge that I faced was trying to get something that was free but still a good software to use. And it was quite a big learning curve, because initially I was going to use like Premiere, but Premiere you have to pay or be in a university. And it was just very interesting trying to get like the raw material on there, but then editing became like super fun. Like, it was just a case of just when you finally have the pieces together, and then you're starting to like put them in the order that you want, it's like, oh yeah, we're getting somewhere. It's gonna get good, and then your program crashes, and you have to reboot everything. But other than that, it was just it was a hard process, but it was just very, very. It was exhilarating. It felt like, when you do like a puzzle and you like complete it, it was that kind of feeling. Like, wow, I can't believe I made this.
This is where it all went wrong for my group. But we forgot to slate anything, and then had to match like 8 to 12 hours of audio with 8 to 12 hours of video footage, drastically putting us back for the due date. But there was just a lot of, I'll say that I feel very lucky to be entering this industry at a time where there is like a YouTube video for every single technique or like thing you might need to know for editing under the sun. And it's definitely where I think my greatest weakness is the editing process. But it was just great to have so many resources for help and know that we could reach out to Film Prize if we needed to, and we did. But yeah, it was just a challenge.
The same kind of thing happened too, because it's like whenever you're in like the final process of the film, and like whenever they really strictly are about like a 10-minute film, and you have like 20 minutes of like footage or like hours of like stuff, it's really hard. It was really hard to like crop it all down into something that made sense in 10 minutes. So that was something that was really like a challenge in the post-production. But honestly, shout out to Ms. Gomez. Ms. Gomez honestly is someone that's like really helped me like understand how to edit a lot, and it's something that is really something I'm able to like work with now. And I think it was overall really fun though. It's fun. I think it's also really just fun editing like a scary movie or something that's terrifying, because you have to really dig in deep and make it something that it's like, something that's gonna touch the audience in a way.
All right. Okay, so we made it. You have films now, and that's great, because that's the hardest part. And so now I kind of want to talk more about the finished product itself. So, obviously, what's really cool about film is the fact that you can use so many parts of it to communicate, to communicate ideas or to make people feel a certain way. So the question I want to ask is basically, how did each of you use the different aspects of film to communicate your own personal perspectives or try to make people feel a certain way?
So what I kind of wanted to convey with my film was that I just wanted to get a scare out of people. And but the biggest thing of it was that this was like a way to communicate something that I had like a genuine like fear of for some time, where it's just, that like you're alone, you're in an area where you think you're safe, and then it's not. And it's a very like claustrophobic feeling, and a fear that a lot of people like share. But also what I kind of wanted to evoke a little bit was, or like my personal thing was like nostalgia, because I grew up with like on the weird side of the internet, and there was a lot of like creators who made their own videos or horror pieces that were like just ideas that they threw out there, and they managed to scare a bunch of people along with it. So I would say that it was just that personally, it was just to spook people. But it was also like it was just very exhilarating to kind of, in a way, like show off like, this is what I'm scared of, and I know that this is what people are scared of, and we can bring up that conversation.
Now, actually, if I could ask you a follow-up question. You described kind of how you started was just with your phone and a flashlight and your house. So basically, how do you get from that point to a point where you have like a movie where where you're scaring people? And I was scared. I would just like to say that I was scared.
So I feel like the way I did it was that I kind of tended to look at a lot of the the greats, like the horror greats, like looking at like Ari Aster films or like stuff like John Carpenter, David Cronenberg, and it's like what made people scared? What made people uncomfortable? Like how can I use the camera itself and like what little materials I had to scare people? And it's like a lot of really good horror films started off on like a very small budget, like Halloween or Saw and such. So I kind of wanted to use the techniques that they had. It's like, all right, so this camera angle makes it tense. This makes it feel a lot more like unnatural. So it's gonna like kind of catch the audience off guard. So I just tried to emulate some of that, and it helped me like kind of learn how to build up that style.
All right, yeah, that's awesome. All right, Zoe, same question.
I would echo that a goal of mine was to scare the pants off of people. And I spoke to this earlier, but me and my team had a lot of negative experiences, I think, with just being younger girls in Santa Fe. Not Santa Fe specifically, but it just happens to be where we grew up. And I just remember us having a conversation that was like, what if the protagonist like won in a way that was equally as aggressive or demanding on like the time or the film or that tone that it sets up as the antagonist. And I think we just wanted to do something hard, and I wanted to direct a fight scene very badly.
Oh, yeah.
And it was also fun playing around with lighting. We were in like a very small house with lots of windows, so we had to be like covering things up with tape and garbage bags and get really DIY with it.
I love that.
Well, actually, but before you speak, it's just there's usually an interesting story behind fight scenes. I've interviewed a lot of students, and there's almost always a story. So you maybe want to talk a bit more about that final scene.
I mean, early on, we were fascinated with the idea of this skateboard, or like how can we make a non-conventional weapon somehow be used, and. I have an acting background, so, for a while I wanted to be an intimacy coordinator or like a fight coordinator, or I just really like hands-on, stuff like that. It's fun. I always had fun in the fight classes. And so for me, getting to direct these two actors who were like two of my close friends as well, and in something that like led them downstairs and like up the wall, and then they're falling on the ground. It was just a dream, and it took forever, and I think was probably the most time wasting thing we did, because we just tried so much and had a lot of fails where I was like, nah, it doesn't look like you're hitting him hard enough. But in the end, it was just so fun, and not to sound weird, but I'm excited to direct more fight scenes.
And that's exactly what I was talking about in terms of stories behind fight scenes. All right, Joaquin.
That was funny. What I wanted to do was, I guess also, scare people, but I also looked into John Carpenter, and like the way he uses like a normal like atmosphere that's like anyone, like an everyday normal atmosphere, and you can make that terrifying. Like almost every day can be scary, like just our everyday lives. So I wanted it to kind of make it like relatable. So like whenever like I told my actors to act and stuff, there wasn't a super like hard script. I just wanted them to like say what they would actually say in that time, like in that situation.
Girl, this isn't Target.
Yeah, yes. But and just make it like organic and natural, and like I feel like that would make it terrifying. Is like people like, oh, like that could happen to me. Like that's terrifying to me at least.
Would you like to talk a bit more about maybe the use of improv in your movie? Because that is one of the things that gave it kind of a very interesting feel to it.
Because, well, the reason why I wanted my actors to improv a little bit more was because I felt like that like gave it more of a natural look. Because sometimes whenever I see like movies where like it just feels like they're just kind of overacting a lot, and it just doesn't feel like the scene's natural really. Like I don't know, it just feels like it's like it's pressure. Like there's like you could tell like they're all pressured to say like the words that they're just written on a script. So I was just like, well, I already have this whole scene written down already in the script of what I want to go down. So might as well just let them also have a say in like what they want to do in this scene too, and like kind of feel like what they would do in this situation. And it kind of also helped with like, cause I also like, I don't know, me, I'm not like a crazy social person, so like it's hard to make dialogue. Like I feel like it just sounds like a bunch of two robots talking really. So like I wanted it to be more, I felt like they like hearing people being more natural too, like it gave me more ideas of like how I could write a script too, like later down the line. Yeah. Like dialogue, written things.
All right. Anyway, those were that's really great. We can tell that all of you guys had a very interesting production experience, and of course, no matter what challenges you faced, you all came out with a really good project. So let's now talk about something that probably a lot of people in the audience can relate to, which is the festival experience. So what was it like for you guys to see your films on the big screen and to have them screen at a festival?
I'm gonna be completely honest with you. It was a little embarrassing. Like it was like, you kind of have like the realization hit that other people are gonna see it, and you get scared. But on top of it, it's like an accomplishment, almost. Like I managed to get this film out to other people, and they're seeing it, and like hopefully they like it. But but even if they don't like it, this was something that created like a really good experience for myself, and hopefully it was a fun experience for others. But it was surreal, and like I was just like I wanted to hide my face the whole time. But it was just it's something that I'm gonna have to get used to later on.
Yeah, you certainly will. All right, Zoe.
It felt like I was at the Oscars, but I'm in like a t-shirt. No, I felt like I had done something really significant, and having someone come up to you and say some detail about the thing you just spent several months on, and you're like, wait, you saw it? Like, what? Yeah. What do you mean? It was just very surreal and awesome. Yeah, I made it finally. Let's go.
Yeah. All right, Joaquin.
Yeah, really, it was honestly breathtaking. It was really cool. And it's also just nice. It just makes you feel good inside. Like it makes you feel like accomplished. Especially like film's always been a passion of mine, and like I've always been making movies like on an iPad, like always. And so it was just cool, like the fact that like now I could have like, I don't know, like it felt like kind of getting the recognition I've always like wanted. I feel like it's really cool. It was really cool.
All right, so you guys all successfully made a film, very, 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 very good ones. What advice would you have to current or future participants of Film Prize Junior who want to submit a film to this competition or just make a film in general?
I'm just gonna say it: be absurd, be weird. The best films are the ones with the ideas that are just a little bit out of the window or unhinged. But it's like you can use what you have. Like if you know how to like direct a fight scene, do it. And it's like this is a way to express yourself. Like just go ahead, like put it out there. Like if you want to make like a ninjas fighting robots, that's totally fine. If you can do it, if you can accomplish it, that's completely okay. Like don't be embarrassed.
I mean, I'm stealing this from Julia Cameron, but I think if you take care of the quantity of any creative work that you produce and just make a lot of it, the universe will take care of the quality, and it will be good.
I would say just if you have an idea, like just do it. Just there's nothing's holding you down. Like especially now, like the entertainment industry is changing. Like this is like the time to do stuff and because we are the change. We're the next generation to do this. So let's do it.
All right. So moving on to a few of our last questions here. Did you guys do anything with your film after the competition?
I kind of put it on the back burner for a little bit because I was like, I definitely want to make this better. Because now that I'm here in university, I've just kind of was like, you know what? Maybe a rewrite and a reshoot would be really nice, and like make it to what I really really wanted to make possible. Because now that's much more of a opportunity for me.
All right, Zoe.
Honestly, no. I think after seeing it on the big screen and spending so much time with it, like I'm not a person who is usually. I'm a huge perfectionist, so I was like, this can be better, and I'm gonna make notes on how it can be better, like Ida was saying, and I think I just like sent it to my grandma. That's it.
I uploaded it on my YouTube channel, and I had a whole Instagram for it. But after a while, I kind of went on the back burner too, and just kind of started focusing on school and stuff like that.
All right. So we are. Okay. So actually, let's do one. I'm sorry, this one was not in the script, but it just kind of came to you right now. What do you think? What do you think is the main lesson that you guys took away from the whole process of Film Prize Junior, from production to the festival?
What I kind of took away from it was that I can use whatever I have, like just as long as it's like in front of me and it like I can see a vision with it, I'll work with it as best as I can, and it just like use all the skills that I've learned. And also like I kind of learned a lot from like of like new skills, like I'd never written a script before I made that film, so it was very very cool to like learn how to write a script for specifically like a screenplay and such. So it's just very interesting, and I've definitely worked on it since.
I feel like my experience with Film Prize kind of proved to me that film is actually something I want to pursue. Like I think especially the first year I went into it just feeling like this looks really fun, like I know I'm interested in this and I watch a lot of movies, and with my experience in theater, like how hard can it be? It was really hard. But I think it just having a deadline and having all the support from the Film Prize Junior team just made me really feel like film was something that I could professionally pursue and make it work somehow.
All right, Joaquin.
Yeah, I was about to say it really made like the reality, like it made it more of a reality, like because before I always wanted to do film, but like it always just kind of was like, oh, like it seems like something that's kind of hard to get into, but like Film Prize gave me like a great like opportunity to like see what it's like, and that it is like a thriving industry, especially in New Mexico too.
Yeah, absolutely. All right. So for our final question, I'm going to ask. So you guys say that you're pretty much all pursuing film. So I'd actually like to hear. Are you guys working on any projects right now? If you want to say a few things about them, yeah, I'm interested.
Yeah. So I'm working on a documentary right now, and I also am writing a script to a narrative film. And these are like for class assignments. I am planning to join or submit to the Cherry Reel Film Festival, which is a film festival in UNM. And like film students or like any student who is interested in film could write a script and make a film and submit it to it, and they'll show it at a theater and hand out awards. So it's just like it's really cool that I'm like I have like finally like everything that I want to use. Like I can like rent out equipment, and it's just the possibilities are endless, and I'm planning on doing a lot more later on.
All right, Zoe.
I'm working on a script about my family history. Like Lisa was saying in the last panel, you have so many good stories just like by talking to your elders and the other people in your life, and there's definitely some interesting stuff there. And I'm lucky enough that I get to do pseudo film making almost every day at my job. It's like it's theater, but it's not theater, and there's a camera involved, and there's live feed going, so you like get different angles. So it's just been fun to learn that, and it inspires me.
I have a film group back at school that we're working on. We're working like on a story right now, but other than that, I'm really just kind of taking a lot of notes, learning, and I'm also working on music right now as like a side thing, and trying to create a little side production going on. Talking to a couple artists right now that are like in New Mexico and around New Mexico, and we're gonna try to get that together and running that too.
All right, we are just about done, but before we get done, I kind of want to just go down the line, and if you guys have just any parting words of inspiration to share to the filmmakers, and also because this is being recorded and will be uploaded, so to future filmmakers as well.
So I'd say just have a lot of courage. It's going to feel embarrassing, like, and it's going to feel weird. It's going to feel kind of cringy. But I promise you, like, as soon as you, like, learn to get over something like that and realize that you can make a good product, you'll start soon, like, get the ball rolling. You'll be able to find much more opportunities.
Yeah, I would echo that, and also say that any art that you create is good and is going to be admirable to someone else, even if you don't like it. And like I've seen so many works by other people where they were like, this is the worst thing I've ever made and I never want to watch it, but there's always something to take away, and it's just important to keep creating.
Keep creating 100%. Just keep those creative juices flowing in your brain. Just keep it, like, especially if you can keep it like as a routine in your brain to do this thing all the time. One thing I've noticed is it's really therapeutic and it's spiritual. Like, it's something that like makes me happy, and like noticing like if anything's gonna take me down in this world, I know I got this to bring me back up, and I think that's something that's really awesome. And I think if you like this stuff, you should definitely keep it in your heart and pursue it.
All right, yeah. So once again, thank you to all of our panelists. If there's something that I could say, it's that, completing a film is the big prize. The actual prize is the small prize. Obviously the most important part of this whole program is just getting through the process, because that is an amazing accomplishment. But anyway, once again, thank you. You guys were awesome. Give them a round of applause, please.
Thank you.